The people who never do that.
Not quite as long odds as the Royals.
Oh.
Not finishing anywhere near first.
Another time to start working on trades.
We're tied with the Angels for the worst record in baseball.
Oh, geez.
Have been for quite a while.
Usually it's good to be with Angels, not in this case.
Much to be said for the Royals.
I thought they were pretty good at the beginning of the season. Oh, yeah, they've been horrible lately. Yeah, you've got it.
It's 6 o'clock before they call the meeting to order. Decided 12 call.
Turkey,
Here.
Gray,
Here.
Ham,
Here.
Dean,
Here.
Walker,
Here.
West.
Here.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Review this matter.
Sure. Heavenly Father, we ask that you put a hedge of protection around the men and the women of PCAD. Alert the ambulance drivers to the dangers of the road and give the medical personnel the wisdom that they need to treat the citizens that they serve. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And we'll had a chance to review the previous minutes. If there are no additions or corrections, they'll stand approved as presented. Announce the visitor Station 3 update.
Good evening. As you guys know me by now, I'm Scott with Navigate. Just Roy Flo had asked me to kind of give an update on what's going on with the condensation issues over at Station 3. So I wanted to kind of just give you a rundown, go through the history of how we got, what the issue is, how we evaluated and isolated what determining the issue, and then where we're at and currently with the repairs. So when we started the unit up, obviously we saw a ton of condensation in the building. That how the design was set up was due to the current code, it requires certain volumes of fresh air to be brought into the building. So we're starting this unit up in the heat of the summer, the highest humidity time of the year. Got it going, obviously the condensation. We went out there, did an evaluation, 2 parts. We went back, had the design team go back and evaluate what the design was and what could be potentially causing this issue. And then we went to the field to verify was the install in percolate plans. So first on the field investigation, we went out to the project site and we determined that they did not insulate the ductwork per the drawings. They had picked up a note in one area, but did not pick up a note in the other area that called for the 100% insulation of the ductwork. That further compounded this issue while we saw water dripping from ceiling tiles and around light fixtures to the extent that it was. So we went back, re-insulated all the ductwork, got all that in as it should have been done the first time. Now on the design side, we went back and looked at how the system was set up. How it is currently set up is that ERV, which is the fresh air intake for all intents and purposes, bringing in fresh air continuous 24/7, regardless if the furnace is on or not. So just that high humidity content, bringing in constant fresh air in the heat of the summer combined with uninsulated ductwork created a recipe for disaster to where we got to the point with insulator condensation dripping from every surface of the ceiling. Went back, the tweaks that the design team had recommended was let's turn down that ERV. Let's only turn that thing on when we're exhausting fresh air out of the building. So when the weight room is being used or when the restrooms are being used. We reconfigured how the system operates to only bring in fresh air to offset the air that we're exhausting from the building and provide a balanced building. Did that, got all the humidity, ran the dehumidifiers to get the building dried out and back to square zero. So then we can go through the process to start this back up. Got that reconfigured. With the system turned off and the ERV completely shut off, we were still pulling in fresh air into the building. So even with that, so there was no automatic damper to close that ductwork off that's open to the outside air when that unit shut off. So there was enough return air pressure from the plenum space that even with the exhaust fan and the ERV off, it was having enough draw to slowly draw in air into the building. So still had condensation issues there when we kind of got through that first phase. Did a check, taped off that ductwork where it was coming in, and that eliminated the fresh air. So at that point we determined, okay, we need an automatic damper that kicks on and opens up the ductwork and shuts off when the exhaust fans are running. So we've gone back and added that. We have gone in, and there was no returns in the report room or the weight room, so we cut in returns into the plenum space to kind of help make it not have to draw so hard to pull the air through the return system. So got those cut in now so that system the air can travel more freely through the system. And then now we're going to put in the automatic damper so that can close off when that is, and it's configured now to only bring in fresh air when we're exhausting fresh air. So kind of gone through all those checks now, in the process of replacing the ceiling tiles. The damper is installed. The ceiling tiles got here about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Those will be installed tomorrow. And then we should be good to go. Everything else is done in the building, ready to fully operate. So that kind of the big root cause of the issue is bringing in excess amount of fresh air and then the ductwork not being insulated, kind of what we've determined as the 2 root causes of that issue. So now we're bringing in that less fresh air and then combining that with closing that off when it's not being used. That we believe is going to fix the problem shortly there after we get this thing up and running and fully functional. Problem is we tried to start this thing up in the highest humidity time of the year. So once we got that building wet and saturated, process of getting that dried out and then back to ground zero was a little bit of a process to do. But we've gotten it back down, got it sealed off, and should have everything fully functional by tomorrow. Just kind of went through a lot of information there, so I'm sure you have questions. So I'm going to open it up for questions, and if you guys have further, I'm happy to get into detail.
Of course I do.
I know you would.
By missing that node and improperly installing, whose responsibility was checking that the installation was proper?
Also, that's the contractor's responsibility. They missed it.
Okay.
Or an
And
additional level of support that did not catch that either, and the engineer did not catch that either in their observations as well.
And had those been properly installed and insulated, we still would have had an issue, would we not?
That's
too much excess.
You wouldn't have had it dripping to the extent you did, but even after we insulated it and kind of went through the startup process to test it, we were still getting condensation at the exhaust fans, which should never be at the exhaust fan, and then at some of those.
So that would be a design issue, would it not?
100%.
Okay, and whose responsibility was that?
Whose responsibility was that?
Design.
So they're covering, they're owning their mistake, and they're covering costs associated with the repairs.
And my last question is, who's gonna pay for the new ceiling tiles?
The
McAllister or the, are they fighting it out?
I'll get the ceiling tiles, the box of ceiling tiles were bought and paid for by the engineer. And then the contractor agreed to provide the labor at no
Okay.
cost. So there's no cost associated with that. There's about $3,500 worth of cost hanging out there for the damper and the cutting in of those returns between the report room and the weight room that I'm working with the design team to get them to cover that cost as well.
Okay.
So you
Sounds like
shouldn't
you've
see,
done-
you
you've done
shouldn't
your
see
job
any
on our
cost
behalf.
associated with any of this issues. It's gonna get all fixed. It's not gonna cost you guys anything. We're gonna work to get that handled between the design team and the contractor, and hopefully get you guys in there with a fully functional building by tomorrow at noon.
Well, thank you for your efforts on our behalf.
Yeah, no, happy to hear. That's what you guys are here for. Fight your guys' fight, but I am pleased to report that, yeah, you shouldn't see a cost for any of this.
So we're good to go tomorrow then?
We start tomorrow morning at 8:00.
So there, just to let you know, the electrician will be there. There was an issue with the relay that they were gonna fix. They should be there at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and the mechanical contractor needs about 3 hours in there in the morning to swap out ceiling tiles. They know you guys are moving in tomorrow. They'll work around you guys as well. And then part of some of the repairs as well is reconfiguring the test and balance of the unit. So we're trying, the thought is that we increase some of the airflow in those units. It cools down, or it doesn't cool that air as low as hot, or get that air as cold, so it's blowing out of the diffuser as cold, which would compound your condensation problem. One of the other issues we did identify going through this is that the thermostat was reading about 5 degrees cold or hotter than what the actual, when we shot a temperature gun. So we shot a temperature gun right at the thermostat, it was reading 65, the unit was set to 71. So we were running that thing, what we thought was at a normal temperature, which was also at an even colder temperature, which was further compounding some of those issues. So by increasing that volume, the air coming out of it will be a little bit warmer. That should also help that issue. So they will be here Monday to adjust the thermostat to get it calibrated to the correct temperature, and then to adjust the flow of the unit for in a couple of specific spaces. They know that you guys are going to be operating from there. They're going to be walking around with a little cover that goes over the diffusers and stay out of your way as well. So that last little piece will be Monday or Tuesday. Other than that, should be functional as intended tomorrow at noon.
Thank you.
I would recommend running that a little bit warmer on that thermostat, knowing there's about a 5-degree delta from what that's actually saying to what it's actually thinking that the air is. So until we get that calibrated next week, go ahead and run that. If you typically run it at 65, run it at 71. If you run it at 70, run it at 75 right now until they get that dialed back in next week.
So if Chief shows up tomorrow, is the damper gonna be able to handle the extra hot air?
Yeah. Calibrated from any extra air. So kind of just to give you a little more context too, like the commercial code and the residential code, this is a residential style construction for all intents and purposes. Residential code doesn't require an ERV because it's assuming that when you open your door to go outside, that you're bringing in enough fresh air to balance off the exhaust that's coming out of your exhaust fans. Because the commercial code wants to be energy efficient and has so many more requirements, that's what led to having to have that ERV in general, so.
Does that affect our LEED certification?
No, because you still got it, it's still gonna function, it's not gonna be running as continuously, but fortunately, we don't have to worry about any of those certifications, which we can go down a whole rabbit hole on that conversation anyway. Any other questions, any concerns with anything?
Any question, John? That's just his look.
No, yeah, thank you. The sign, it's hard to see during the day.
Okay.
At night, you can see
It
it.
looks great, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that was designed that way.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went through that and added that, we added the sign. We had a sign in there, we changed it over the course of construction to make it illuminated, and then that was what we kind of went through a couple of rendering designs, that was what the project team approved for the final design.
There was some reason why we, because they had white outlines around it initially, but there was some reason.
I can't remember why we
I think
changed it.
washed it out at night so basically it was one or the other. It washed it out at night whenever the lights were on behind it, or you can see it during the day, whereas you can see it at night now and kind of see it during the day.
Or another sign on a wall or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's like some trim too, like white trim around it on the edge of it too, and just kind of add that like a little angle piece around it. I can talk to them and see if there's anything that we could do to kind of make that pop a little bit more to the day. And then I do plan to come back and give you guys just a final project report, kind of going through where we landed financially. I wanted to get through this condensation report or condensation issue. I want to come back and tell you where we finish the project when it's not done. In my mind, you guys aren't you're not using it and fully operating out of it. So I want to get you guys squared away here, and then I'll come back and give you guys either next meeting or 2 meetings from now, and give you a final report of all the financials and where everything finished out, if that's okay. Perfect.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
No public comments, so we'll move on to officers' report, chief's report.
All right, my report starts on page 3. Year-to-date call volume is a total of 5,434 calls, 4,762 is Pettis County calls, with 672 is Windsor. It's been quite the month and a half, actually, on vehicle maintenance and unit issues. One of our ambulance was involved in a sideswipe incident on I-70 coming back from Columbia. The car just crossed center line as they were passing. Minor damage to the truck, no injuries. We had a gear strike with another ambulance. Its damage is estimated $2,000. It's actually, I think it's getting fixed right now. Another ambulance was involved in a gear strike. It was a bit more costly. It was about $5,000. It was one of the transits. I turned that into insurance. We're waiting for a claim number so we can get that truck fixed. And then, of course, the Unit 12 transmission issue that I texted out about. That one is in the process of being fixed, and I went and attached the estimates just so you guys could have them, see the differences. Vehicle mileage is below. Everything's pretty much on par and moving like it should. There's nothing extra on any of the others. Been doing our annual striker cotton power load preventative maintenance. It started in June and it's carried on over to this month. Apparently their local rep quits. They're having to come from a long ways away, so they're hitting us here and there. Education, nothing to report currently. The rest of the pages are your bar graphs and your pie charts, which aren't really out of the normal. Nothing really to say it's not right there. Staffing update, we've hired the following full-time employees to backfill the ones that are going part-time. David Smith is EMT, for us for almost a year. He went full-time. Kyrie Turner, he was an EMT that just got his paramedic license, and he came on as a full-time paramedic. And then Jackson Webb hired on as a full-time paramedic. Then we've hired some part-time employees, Evelyn Gala, Malachi Warren, Butch Otto, Alex Bray, and Brandon Durrell. All of them are in various different stages of their orientation process. Evelyn, I believe, just finished orientation, and I think Alex did too. Unit 4's the ARV. We're hoping we should be seeing that here in a few months. Fingers crossed. And hopefully swap that out for the next one. And then on page 10, I took care of the chamber membership. I chose the corporate for the $715 per year. Hindsight being 2020, I thought maybe I should have waited and asked permission before I did that, but I just kind of did it. So if we want to change it next year, obviously we can move that and go down if that was too much, but that's what I chose. Page 11 is the call volume. It's down quite a bit from what we were last year. I'm not really sure why, but it is. And everything's pretty much on track as far as transfers for the year. It's pretty much average out the same. And then after that, you have the 2 quotes for B&B transmission for the rebuild, and then the next page is the quotes from Warrensburg Ford to replace it. Both have the same warranty. And with that truck being as old as it is, I felt like legal was probably appropriate. And if you guys don't have any questions, all I got.
Are there any questions?
Outstanding bills.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. These business station 3 mowing bids. We got 2. No, open one of those. Show me precision mowing. Actually, making. See, he's a shift captain paramedic here at PCAD. Trimming and edging services rated $100 per visit. Mowing will be performed once per week and estimated mid-March to mid-November annually. Liability insurance will be presented upon request.
Scott, discussing about it's mowing trim weekly for $80 each time. And he's got the insurance with it, so that's all he has. Mowing from July 15th to March 31st.
So he's gonna renegotiate the first part of next summer without a.
Next spring, yeah.
And this is for a 3-year term.
So he's gonna finish up this year.
Yeah, it is.
I guess, I don't know, but are we offering it? Are we looking to hire somebody just to mow for the rest of this year and then rebid come May or
Bid specifications
April or March?
are run until March 31st of 2029 to continue out what our other one, the other cycle is for Station 2.
Same guy?
Mhm.
Okay, that explains it.
Yeah.
All right, so I was trying to figure that out. You want us to have to take turns going out there. For May and June.
Thoughts on those 2 bids?
He's with Scott's work. He's. I'd say we go with Scott.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. So take a motion to go into closed session pursuant to RSMO 16.021, section 1.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Kirby?
Yes.
Gray?
Yeah.